What's up, everybody? Leone here today. Today we are back. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. I hope everybody is doing great. I'm wearing a hoodie again because we went from summer to winter within a week again. I hate Illinois. I continue to say that. We did finally, though, hit over 1,000 subscribers. So I thank you very, very much to all my new subscribers and all my subscribers that have been there since the beginning. Following me in this crazy journey. Yeah, so congratulations to me and thank you to all of you. We will be doing a giveaway for the 1,000 subscribers. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm bundling up together, and I think I'm going to wait till after the trip so I can get everything set up and ready to go, but we will do that giveaway. Again, I'm just gathering everything that I want to give away for that. I'm trying to make it a little bit of a nice giveaway. But anyways, it's not about that today. Today we're talking to you about a very exciting device. We did the first look last week, and today is the full movie-length review for the SX Mini M Class from Yihi.
The next one, they're not gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stand up, I'll let you live a little bit.
So the SX Mini M Class from Yihi. This has been a very fun device to be using this last week, and also a very complicated device. But we're gonna get into all its complicatedness and all its greatness a little bit later on in this video. First, we'll start with obviously what is it? It's a variable wattage, variable Joule, I guess is the word to say, because it is a Joule device also. So it does wattage and joules, and it can also do, well, in Joule mode, it will be doing temperature control also, just like the DNA 40, but in a different way, which we'll get into. And in my opinion, I think a better way, to be honest with you. So that's what it is. It takes 118/650 battery, and it has an onboard charger, which we'll also get into that little piece, something about that. I got it from vapenw.com, and it was $199.99, so $200, a whopping $200. And yes, it is very expensive, in my opinion. We'll get to my opinion later. $200, and I pre-ordered it, and vaping is just great. If you guys have never ordered from them, check them out. They are fantastic. Shipping is great. I ordered a black one. The black ones were in stock. The gray ones were. I contacted them, and there goes stuff. And they basically told me that if I wanted the gray one, to just order the gray one, and they'll refund me for the other one. So I did, and that one got sent out immediately the next day, and I got it a day after. So they're very quick too. So yeah, that's where I got it from, and I did get the gray one. Yeah, I gotta stop saying Yes. So I'm gonna get way into this, break it down and all that. Let me give you some specs. I actually made a note here. Yes, I did make a note. So I'm gonna read it off my computer. I wrote down a lot of stuff about this. This thing is just crazy. So according to the manufacturer, it's made of stainless steel, high quality zinc and brass, and aluminum. It's got spring loaded 510. It's using the Yihi SX350J chip. It's got temperature limiting. It goes from 200 to 580 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 to 300 degrees Celsius. Fires from 0.05 to 3 ohms in Joule mode. It fires from 0.15 to 3 ohms in power mode, which is wattage mode. It can go from 5 to 60 watts. It's capable of outputting 1 to 9.5 volts. It can go to 85 watts in bypass mode. It has buck boost and boost circuitry, and a DC to DC converter. So those are the quick nitty gritty on the specification. What else did I have to tell you about it? Yeah, nothing right now. So let's go up close and let's look at it a little bit closer. Alright, so here we are up close with the SX Mini. We kind of look at the packaging and the close-up, but you do get a little nice little bag here that comes with it. But we'll take a quick glance here at the packaging. We'll do a very, very fast unboxing because we have so much to do. It comes in a little clear sleeve. Nice box here, opens up. Very nicely presented. You got your SX Mini M Class over here. And in here you have a standard for these devices, a USB cable for upgrading / charging. I'll get into something on that USB port later, but yeah, just a simple USB cable there, nothing special. And you get the device, and you get this instruction manual, which we'll take a quick look at here, or this little pouch packet. I'm going to call it envelope. We'll open that up there real quick. And alright. You get a user manual, obviously, and you get the warranty card here. Really quick on the warranty, you have 1 year warranty for the SX Mini M class, and you have a 3-month warranty on the USB port itself. And then you get your user manual here, which I read through this whole thing just to see what it's about. You know, they explain certain things like Joules and all that, and I'll get a little bit into that and the whole temperature protection mode and, you know, all the features of the device in here. It's very nicely done. And on the back here, some illustrations actually. It shows you how to put the battery in with a coin, which way it goes, how to close it up, connecting the atomizer, USB cable for upgrading, 18 plus, and their website and all that. So yeah, it's a very nicely done manual. A couple things in that manual that are incorrect though. It says it goes from 5 joules to 60 joules, and it's actually 5 to 50. So yeah, I don't know how they screwed that up, but it must have been a typo or something. Let me get all the packaging out of the way real quick here, and let's get the device in here, and we'll take a look at it real quick. So yeah, let's start from the top. You have a spring-loaded 510 connection here. It looks like it's a brass-plated contact there. You can see some of the silver stainless showing through a little bit there from the atomizer, just scraping it a little bit. You got airflow slots here too for your atomizers. You got like this little torque screw here. You got another one, another 2 on the bottom, and I believe that's what's holding everything together. So if you do take it apart, they will not warranty it. So just know that going into it. It's not meant to be tampered with. 510 threading, obviously. Like I said, spring loaded. Everything fits on here and fits nicely. This is about, I believe it's a 23mm ring here. So most 22mm devices fit and look just fine, but if you wanted it to go all the way around, you need 23mm. You got the fire button here. Very clicky. I don't know if you can hear how clicky that is. It's not, I would say very clicky, but it's very responsive and clicky. Like, it's got a good resistance to the button. It's not too stiff, not too loose, not too mushy, I should say. And you could definitely tell you're clicking it. You feel like you're pushing on something. It's a very high quality filling button. Then you have the BB style buttons here, which are going to do a lot of different things for you. We'll get into that. And they're also very clicky and responsive and easy to press. They're sort of recessed here within the housing, so they're just barely protruding out. And the USB port here, I'll get into this really quickly. They say this is for upgrading, but it also says you can use it for charging, but beware that it can make the device act funny. That's what it says in the manual and on their website. They recommend it just for upgrading, not for charging, but it says if you do use it for charging, be careful. I don't know what that means, but I'm just letting you know what it says. You got the bottom cap here, which is where your battery is going to be. And if you give me a second, no, don't give me a second, because I got a quarter right here. And basically you need a quarter, a nickel, or even I think a penny works on here too. And this unscrews, and it's definitely a negative we'll talk about. It's just a lot of unscrewing, and it's a pain that you need a coin. I don't always have a coin on me. Some people don't like coins. I have to go into my little coin piggy bank to get this. But I'll fast forward a second while I take this out. Alright, so I got the bottom cap here out. Again, I showed this to you in the first look, but yeah, a very light, cheap filling cap here, to be honest with you. The rest of the device is high quality. You got vent holes here, the slot. You can probably see I got a few scratches on here from using my coin on it. Just trying to take this in and out. Yeah, no spring or nothing, just straight up contact right there. And yeah, that's the cap. And then inside the mod here, which it's going to be hard to see, but you can see the contact point at the top, and that's springy. So when you put your battery in, you get some resistance for the battery. It looks like another brass contact up there. Brass or copper, I'm not exactly sure. Threading looks really good. A little dirty already. This is a brass tube in here from what I've been told. So you will need to clean this every once in a while because, you know, brass does dirty. Unless they, it's got some type of protectant on it. But, yeah, just be aware of that you may have to do some cleaning of these threads and inside. You want to keep everything running nicely on something this expensive. And that's it. I mean, the battery goes nipple in. And, yeah, then you put it on. You could start with your finger, but then you're going to need a coin to do it the rest of the way. But let me get this battery back in here, and we'll talk a little bit more about the screen and stuff. Alright, so battery's inserted. 5 clicks turns her on. You can see the display there. The display is just beautiful on this device. Okay, so I have no atomizer. When you press it, you get the little atomizer logo here, and it says check atomizer, obviously. Then you get a ton of information. Let me grab something here. Here we go. Alright, so display. You're gonna have obviously your wattage here. Let's put something on here so it could be a little more. Here we go. Let me, yeah. So anyway, let's go back to display. So we got it at 14 watts right now, which is giving you 1.40 volts on this 0.14 ohm coil. So that's the voltage it's taking to give you the 14 watts. That's the resistance here. The voltage left in the battery, I just put this battery in, so it's 4.20. And then on the bottom, this is your Joule counter, which we'll get into also. And obviously I just put the battery in, so I've pressed it like once or twice, so I have 5.4 joules. And then you got your memory bank 1 setting, is what I'm in right now. And then I'm in powerful mode. And let's start with the modes here. Now, when you hit the down button, the first button you hit is the down button, it's going to start changing modes. So you can adjust modes now. I'm in mode, not modes, yeah, modes. So you got soft, standard, powerful, powerful plus, or powerful plus. Basically, really quick on them. Soft, it's going to start giving you voltage very slowly. So if you don't like an intense vape right away, use the soft mode. I've been leaving it really, to be honest with you, at standard. That means it gives you what it's going to give you, and that's it. Powerful mode, it'll give you more voltage or more wattage at the beginning and then taper down to your setting. Powerful plus will give you a lot more wattage / voltage at the beginning and then taper to your setting. These modes to me are not for tanks, maybe soft and standard, but when you have a tank, you probably want to use soft and standard, but when you have a RDA, I should say, or a buildable dripper, dripping atomizer, you might want the powerful or powerful plus because it heats that coal up right away, and that's great. With the dripper, I do use it powerful, and it's great. It just gives you that nice hot vape right away, right off the bat, and then it tapers down to its setting, obviously. So those are those. As far as memory bank goes here, so that's what the M1 is here. You start by pressing the up button. See M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, and these are all your settings, and you adjust those by, you must press the up first. And then from there, let's get it back. Okay, so from there, let's go back to my 1. You could press the down button, and you can start adjusting wattage that way, if you don't want to use the gravity sensor in the menu, which we'll show also. So that's how you adjust, but you must go into, so you must first press up, get in your memory bank, set your setting, and then press down, and then you could adjust from there. So you must go up, down, and then adjust. So yes, that's a little finicky, but there's other ways to adjust it. Joules, it's going to count joules, which joules in a layman's terms, which I'm going to get really into later, it's energy consumed, or they're describing it as vapor intake. So Joule is a unit of energy, basically. We'll get way more into this later, though. And then, like I said, you get battery, and that's just all self-explanatory. And I mean, that's how you use these buttons and whatnot. And 1, 2, 3 takes it to a lock screen. You'll see the little lock. 1, 2, 3 unlocks it. Very self-explanatory. And then if you do 5 clicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I fucked that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, and we're adjusting. Here we go. Here comes the finickiness. Alright. So your first thing here, and I'm going to have to do it upright like this, unfortunately, because if you tilt it to the side, it's adjusting, obviously. The gravity sensor is adjusting, so you see that. So you can adjust your wattage this way also. I'll leave it at 14. Press again, you got exit. That'll exit the menu. Self-explanatory. Bypass. You got bypass on or off. If it's in the on mode, it basically becomes a mechanical mod with protection. And I believe it'll fire up to 85 watts. And I'm not, there we go. 85 watts in mechanical mode. So that's what that is. And I just exited the menu. Okay. So bypass. System on and off. That turns it off or on. Self-explanatory. Link off or on. This is for upgrading. You turn the link on to upgrade the device if there is a new firmware / software. And then display left. Oh, shoot. Passed it. Display left, right, or you could turn it to auto, which I have it on auto right now, hence why it's going crazy on me. So let's put that back to auto. Alright, and then you got this. Power and Joule. Power mode is obviously wattage mode. Joule mode is the temp mode, which, you know what, let's just get into it now. There's Joule, so we'll have it to Joule. And then you'll be able to adjust joules. So right now it's at, what's it at? 50 joules. So obviously if you tilt the device, you can adjust those joules up and down. Let's just leave it at 50 for easy sake. And you have temp control here. And I'll get into... well, I can tell you now, it's 200 degrees Fahrenheit to 500 degrees Fahrenheit in temp mode, what you can adjust. And in joules, you can go from 5 joules to 50 joules. And then you could also switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius. So let's go back and let's switch it back to power, which I just passed. Okay, back in power. There we go. And we'll exit. That's the menu in a very, very quick nutshell. Very quick nutshell. Give me 1 second and we're gonna, you know what? No, don't give me a second. Let's get back into that menu. Let's change it back to Joule mode. Or temp mode, what people are gonna call it. Wrong way, this way. Okay, we're in Joule mode. And, alright, let's just leave it at 50. Let's leave it at 400 degrees. And let's exit. Alright. So now you can see we're in Joule mode. You see 50.j. Yeah. So let's go to memory bank and let's go to my memory bank 3 at 25 joules. This is where I've been rocking this coil. It's a 0.14 nickel built, 400 degree Fahrenheit, 25 joules. It's only giving me 2.44 volts to that, but it's still vaping really good. I'm gonna have a real quick vape. And my atomizer's flooded. Go figure. Gurgly mess right now. And that's a terrific vape. Joules is going to be hard to explain, but we'll get into again later. Basically, the way I didn't know anything about it, so I started at 5 joules, and I just vaped, and I kept adjusting it up until I found a good setting. And at 25 joules on this 0.14 K-Fun build, single coil, it vapes like a dream. So, 1 or 2 more things I want to show you about temp control here. I got a nickel build, an old nickel build, so excuse, it looks like shit. But anyways, I have it set to 25 joules, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And one note to note, they do tell you in the manual when you do put on a new nickel coil and on the device in temp mode, make sure that the atomizer itself is cooled and so is the device. They should both be around the same temperature before using it. Put it in temp mode and press the up and the down button here. Try to do this on screen. And set resistance, it says 0.108. And what that basically does is pair up, or it takes a fresh reading of the atomizer and the device, and it sets it all together, so it's getting an accurate reading of the resistance. So every time you put on a new nickel build, make sure it's at, you know, cool temperature, both of them are at, and then press the up and down button together, just like I did. I'll do it again. It says set resistance, now it's 0.106. So you want to do that to make sure the temp mode is working properly. Very important, it says it in the manual. I will do a quick dry burn test to see what happens here. Cotton burn test, I should say. Let's try to burn some cotton. Flips. That's right. You've seen it. You've seen people talk about this. It's fantastic. Anyways, so we're at 25 joules. And let's fire this cotton up and see what happens. Dry coil, no liquid. Dry coil, no liquid. You can see a little bit of vapor steaming off there, whatever's left of it. Dry coil, no liquid. So there you go. Can't burn cotton. So temp mode does work. It is doing the right thing. I like how it tells you dry coil, no liquid with a warning sign. But yeah, it does work. There you go. There's the proof. The proof is in the pudding. And also, I didn't really show this, but yeah, the device itself has these curves, which are very comfortable, by the way. And they did, from the old SX Mini, they took out the sharp corners here that I heard they have. It's nice and rounded now, so none of this is sharp at all. The button is a lot smoother than the old version from what I hear. I've had no issues with it, obviously. And yeah, this is the gray version, just so you know. It's kind of a sparkly version. I mean, it felt kind of chalkboardy-ish at the beginning, but now that my hand oils have gotten to it, it's very smooth and it feels very nice. Yeah, and it says SX Mini here. A couple things I may have left out. But anyways, that was the cotton burn test. Let's go up close and let's continue to do this novel link feature review video. So that was the close-up and a little bit of its features. I didn't mention in the close-up, but I did already mention it goes from 5 to 60 watts. I didn't show that, and it does do 5 to 50 joules. I know I didn't mention that close-up, but I did want to mention it again in case people forgot. And it's capable of firing very low. I mean, down to 0.05 ohms in Joule mode and 0.15 in regular wattage mode. So it can fire pretty much any resistance for the most part. Yeah, Joule mode. Or Joules, I should say. I'm not an expert, so don't quote me as an expert. A lot of you may know more, especially you scientist guys out there. You may know a lot more about Joules and all that. I'm going to read to you what I got after doing some research and some experiences here. So I'm going to read again off my computer here. Where are we? Here we are. Okay. So basically I pulled the definition of Joule off of the dictionary online. And I'm going to read you this definition. Joule is a derived unit of energy, work, or amount of heat in the International System of Units. It is equal to energy transferred or work done. When applying a force of 1 Newton through a distance of 1 meter, 1 Newton, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know why I wrote that down. Okay. That was the definition of Joule. Okay. And then this is what it says on Yihi's website. It says, what is a Joule? Regardless of voltage, current, power, or resistance, in the end, the atomizer produces heat. Joules, however, through caloric conversion, describe heat produced or energy consumed. So a joule is describing heat produced or energy consumed, or in other words, vapor produced. It best describes the amount of vapor produced. That's what it just said. Okay. Simply put, this allows consumers to better know the amount of vapor being consumed. Example, if you have adjusted to 50 joules for a 1 second vape, you're going to get 50 joules of heat. If you do it 50 joules for 2 seconds, you're going to get 100 joules of heat. The wattage is unchanged. The proper use of joules measures the consumption of energy or conversion of heat over time. But it's a consumption and not an absolute setting such as wattage. Basically, from that, I wrote down that what I got out of it is watts adjust the volts depending on the ohms, if that makes any sense, to give you the correct wattage. Joules, my camera's in the way. Joules are the same regardless of ohms, voltage, or wattage. You probably just ignored the hell of me, or you're confused out of hell, and don't worry, because I was confused too. I had read this a couple times. So, yeah, joules are the same regardless of your ohms, voltage, or wattage. Yeah, it's another power setting, basically. And to get joules, you need to do a wattage times time, and you'll get joules, which is also known as energy. Joule is an energy unit. It's a unit of energy. That's basically what a joule is. So if you want to figure out, okay, say you're vaping at 40 watts and you take 40 watts and you take a 2 second vape. That means you're getting 80 joules. 80 joules of energy. That's how you can figure out how many joules you're getting. So if you vape 40 watts for 2 seconds, do your watts times your seconds, times your seconds, or is it time? See, I don't know how that works. But anyway, I'm not going to get into crazy on. I just wanted to give you a little bit of Joule background information. Yes. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. If not, I'm sorry. Maybe somebody could better explain it in the comments. But that's what I got out of Joules. So Joules is just another power setting, and it's used to more accurately describe how much vapor / energy is being performed. So that's why you have that little Joule counter here in the bottom. And I just put a fresh battery in, took a couple vapes, and I'm at 926 joules. That means this battery so far has performed 926 joules of power or energy. Make any sense? Maybe not, but that's what it is. So now that I've explained that, let me explain to you what I think of this temperature control in the Joule setting. I actually like it with Joules. It's a little confusing. It's like when we learned wattage for the first time. I remember when it was just variable voltage and there was no wattage. And you were in wattage and you were all confused because you're like, what is this now? What gets me 4.4 volts? What setting is 4.4 volts? And that's what I kept thinking. Okay, how many joules is equivalent to what I usually vape at? Say 15 watts. What is that in joules? I don't know. So just play with joules, adjust it to taste, keep tasting it till you find a spot that's happy. With my K-Fun in the nickel build, 20 to 25 joules, 400 degrees, a perfect vape. Now with my Zenith, which I don't know where it went, and that in joules mode, that's a dripper, obviously. I had that a little higher, I had that at 30 joules and 440 degrees, and that was fine with me. There's no right or wrong answer. You're just going to have to play with it, figure out what works for you. And let me tell you, in Joule mode with the temp mode going, it's a good vape. It's a pain in the ass to build with nickel. There is better nickel forms out there now. There's tempered nickel, which is a lot easier to work with. Thanks to one of my subscribers, he told me about it, and I tried it, and it's a lot better. It's a lot easier to work with. I like nickel in tanks and K-Funs and things because I don't have to worry about getting dry hits ever and whatnot. So that's just me, though. Do I think temp control in this form is a little bit better than the Evolve form? Yes, I like the Joule form a little bit better. I just find that it works better for me. I don't know. I could just be delusional. It's possible. Okay. Some other notes on the whole temp thing on here. Well, I mentioned in the close-up, you must press the up and down button and make sure the coil and the atomizer and the device are at the same temp, and then press the up and down together to get the accurate resistance. Otherwise, it's not going to work properly for you. So if you don't do that. Oh, the protection. I didn't mention it's got protection. It's obviously got first battery polarity protection, output short protection, low resistance protection, low battery voltage, and overheat protection. So the actual board itself will monitor temperature, and if it does overheat, it shows it in the manual. There's a picture. It will say board overheat 10 seconds or something like that, and it will shut down until it's for about 10 seconds till it cools down. So it's got all that. I still prefer Ned's rather wattage mode. I mean, it's still my favorite setting to use it, but from my experiences, nickel, it's not bad in, a tank and whatnot, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. There's a learning curve. You're just going to mess with it a little bit, and then you're going to get to my point and say, you either like it or it's not for you. I like it. I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to use it. I mean, I have a K-Fun that I slap that K-Fun on every day, and I use it. But for the most part, I've been using it. I mean, I got a 40 watts with my Goblin RDA, and in standard mode, and it's working good. It's working fantastic. But I'll slap that K-Fun on here real quick. So now I got my K-Fun with the nickel build on here. 20 joules, 400 degrees, and it's just a terrific vape. I don't get dry hits. I don't have to worry about dry hits. 400 degrees seems to be just perfect for this guy right here. And it's just an 8-wrap nickel tempered wire. What is it? 28, no, this is a 30 gauge wire. It just works. Do I think Joules might catch on? Possibly. I mean, this is China's way of innovating. It says somewhere on the manual. On the front of the manual, it says innovation for you or something like that. But it's nice to see that they're coming out with their own things and not just copying off of other people all the time. So it's definitely a fresher breath air. But yeah, I'm not going to cover too much more on temperature control and all joules and stuff like that. I'll leave that to the scientist. Hopefully, Phil Bassardo comes out with a review and he'll have numbers and he'll explain it a lot better than I can. I'm not that bright when it comes to this scientific stuff. So let me get into let's look at the size comparison of this guy. Let's compare it to my smallest high wattage device, I guess, that I own. There you go. That's them side by side. You can see the SX Mini, you know, quite a bit taller. Not a bit, but a little bit taller. You can see here. It goes all the way up to here because of this ring. So yeah, it is taller. Width-wise, there you go. And yeah, it's bigger than the iStick 50 watt, but it is a lot more quality filling than 50 watt. This, I mean, I like this device and I use it all the time, but I mean, you can definitely tell difference in price by the weight itself. From what they say on the website, I believe this area here, this round, grayish area, is the aluminum. This here is going to be your the front face is going to be stainless steel, and then obviously the tube inside is brass, and it says it's made of zinc too. I don't know what they're using the zinc for. Maybe it's aluminum and zinc together. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it had some heft. I was surprised by how heavy it was. And, I mean, one thing that sells me on this is how comfortable this device is just to hold. I mean, it's got these grooves here. Your hand kind of just sit in there. And then, your thumb just rests right here. And this fire button can be pressed. I kind of mentioned this already in the other video, but you can press it anywhere in this, and you could hear how nice and clicky and responsive this button is. It just feels like a high quality button. And I locked it. God. But yeah, so I basically, wrap my hand around it, and my thumb just sits, right there, right on the top of kind of right around this bend. It's just perfect on camera, Joey, on camera. So yeah, not much I could say. I heard it was sharp around this area in the old version. It's not sharp. It feels rounded now. So when that does sit, in your hand, it's not sharp whatsoever. Nothing about this is sharp. It's all just comfortable. So it's comfortable. What else do I gotta say about this? The buttons feel high quality. There's no rattle on this device whatsoever. The battery with the freaking coin to take it out. That's a pain. First of all, there's a lot of unscrewing, and I'm scratching up this whole end cap here by doing it. So that's a pain. Like last night, my coins were all in the bedroom in my coin jar or whatever, and my wife was sleeping, and I didn't want to go in there and wake her up, so I had no ways of taking out my dead battery. I'm sure I could have finagled some scissors and did it with that, but I was too lazy. Because you're not supposed to, according to the manual, charge it by this port. I don't understand why exactly that is. They say it's used for upgrading and upgrading only. But it says if you must use it for charging, be careful. Don't know what that really means, but I was kind of wary of using it for charging, but it does work. I have used the charge port on here to charge it, and it does work. So I don't know. Take that as whatever you want. Feels like a $200 device, to be honest with you. It feels like a $200 device. Oh, Yihi says for temp mode to work in its best way, they recommend that you put a build in there of 0.065, and that's really low. That's what it says in the manual. Again, I'm just reading you what it says, but in the manual it says 0.065 for optimal performance, whatever that means. It is $200, and in my opinion, $200 is a little steep. I couldn't go out and buy another one because I don't have that kind of money. I got this because I traded my RDNA out for some cash, and I was able to afford it that way. In my opinion, is it priced right? It could be. I think this would be priced a little bit better at like $179, $179 or $169.99. But it is a first for China. It's a first temp control, first Joule mode. So I could see why it's so much. I mean, there's other things that cost way more than this, and they don't have nearly the features that this guy does. Take it for what it is. Not a lot of people are going to be able to afford this, but if you can, and you're looking for that one device, this would be it right here. This has everything. You could even run it in mechanical mode. In mechanical mode, it will fire up to 85 watts, which basically means it's just dumping voltage of the battery in there. And you could upgrade it. And I've seen some ridiculous extension tube that goes on this, so you can put two 18650s in here, and with that, the chip will then fire up to 120 watts. But it just looks ridiculous. I mean, it's just got, I don't have a tube mod even on me anymore. It's just got a ridiculously long tube, and I wish I had, you know what, if I have a picture of it, I'll insert it here. Otherwise, yeah, it just looks ridiculous, take my word. I do highly, highly recommend this if you're looking for that one device. That one solid quality filling device. It's got a year warranty on it, so I mean, you're set for at least a year with it. And if you could come up with a scratch, it's definitely worth it. Those are my 2 cents. But anyways, I hope this review was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, because I'm sure I forgot to talk about something. If you want to go ahead and explain Joules to me better, somebody in the comments, feel free to do it. I'm sorry if I got it completely wrong, but it's what my brain knows and what my brain is capable of. Again, I hope this review was helpful. If you're not subscribed, I'll put a link down here below for the subscription. And stay tuned for the giveaway coming up very soon. Now, I don't know if this is the last video before my vacation. I'm trying to maybe squeeze in one more next week before I leave. Next week's my last week here, and then I'll be gone for a week. So it could be 2 weeks till you see me. Maybe there'll be one last week. Well, I'm gonna try. We'll see what happens. But that's it, guys. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all those that have followed me. And until next time, live well and vape on.
You know it's only the beginning. Step up, cause you're the next one, and I'm about to kill. You don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Step up.